Hi, this is Mark Schaefer again with K-Wave. I have with me today Jeff Gilbert.
What's up?
Oh, not much, dude. How are you doing?
Man, good. Enjoying the conference, yeah.
God is good.
It's been awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Jeff is here with Save the Storks. He's our coffee provider for the pastors.
Yeah.
And the message isn't really about coffee with Jeff. The message is more about the ministry side and what you do with Save the Storks. So you want to explain a little bit of that to us?
Yeah, man. The coffee is a way for us to be able to propel our ministry. We love coffee. I love coffee, and we figured, you know what? There's always a good conversation over a cup of coffee.
That is true.
And it's hard to start a good conversation about abortion.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
So how do you do that? How do you connect with people who have a heart for pro-life ministry? How do you connect with people who might have a post-abortive testimony, who might be stuck in the entrapment of guilt, or just a space of just where they haven't reconciled their past yet? Where there's so much grace that abounds in that space, where I know the Lord wants to set you free from that kind of testimony, and He wants to use you to propel the message of that is not the only choice in a pro-choice world.
Right.
Now, Save the Storks is a movement that started about 4 years ago. What went on was our founder, Joe, his name's Joe Baker, he's from Colorado Springs, had a huge heart for moms in crisis pregnancy. And a lot of us know about crisis pregnancy centers around the nation, or Pregnancy Resource Center. Right. And they're phenomenal ministries that we decided, man, how can we really champion these pregnancy resource centers to reach their community at a full maximum level? How do you do that? How do you reach a mom in a crisis pregnancy where she's at, instead of expecting her to come to you?
Right.
How can you get to her? And we figured, well, a lot of moms that are in crisis pregnancies are showing up to Planned Parenthoods and abortion clinics, hoping for better education, hoping for some options, where most of these clinics are just going to drag them down the path of abortion.
Right.
It's a very, very lucrative business, abortion. And it's something that they're just wanting to be able to just facilitate and get done. So we said, how do you get an ultrasound machine in front of an abortion clinic? Because statistically, around 80 to 90% of women in a crisis pregnancy who get an ultrasound, who see their baby, who see that heart beating, will choose life. It'll no longer be like tissue or a mass of cells like an abortionist would tell them. Right. You can tell it's a human being.
80%.
80 to 90%.
Wow.
So, if abortion is a major industry, then why would you want to get 80 to 90% to not choose your product?
Exactly.
Right? So we decided, how do you get an ultrasound machine in front of an abortion clinic? Well, let's take a mobile vehicle. Let's use something that can be parked legally in front of an abortion clinic, something, let's say, like a Mercedes Sprinter bus.
Okay.
And we've outfitted it to standards that I consider it looking like a Learjet. I think it's beautiful. We use
it is. I got to go in it yesterday. That is beautiful inside. Yeah.
It's beautiful, and it's because the moms that we are ministering to are beautiful. Yeah. They were fearfully, wonderfully, masterfully made, and we don't want to use products that don't create that kind of environment, that kind of space, that kind of really luxury. That's something that we want to do. We want to give you a space that you feel pampered in.
Right.
And so when you can outfit that kind of space with ultrasound technology, you can have an on-site ultrasound in front of an abortion clinic. That means that we can encourage these moms to take a closer look at their situation, and we can counsel them through their options. And that's where the relationship begins with these moms. Is it doesn't end with them choosing life. It actually begins. And even if they don't choose life, it's still a ministry for us to say, we want to walk with you no matter what.
You get to speak into their lives.
Absolutely.
Now, I know that after seeing the bus, I saw the two big monitors, so the moms get to see the ultrasound. And then you also told me that you send it off to a doctor.
Yeah, so a lot of the pregnancy centers that we work with, they'll have a facilitated doctor or a staff doctor on hand that can make sure that the pregnancy is looking healthy, that they can certify the pregnancy, and so you can make it official. So we always work with certified ultrasound sonographers. Typically, that's the only employed person on the bus, but that's through the Pregnancy Resource Center.
Right.
And so we'll have a professional counselor on board.
Well, yeah, and then the
professional
professional counselor, that's is that a volunteer?
Most of the time it's a volunteer.
Right.
Sometimes it's a staff member of a pregnancy resource center that owns the bus.
Okay, I got you.
So it's up to the pregnancy resource center on who staffs and facilitates.
But either way,
bus.
it's a licensed counselor.
Correct. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And you get to walk these girls through all their options instead of them walking through the doors of an abortion clinic.
Right.
And them saying, okay, here's how we're going to abort your baby.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. Man, we've even talked to girls who have walked out of an abortion clinic whose doctor just more or less forced them into a scheduled abortion. And that's a lot of the times where we can have these conversations where now it's starting to settle, like sink into them, like this is going to happen.
Yeah.
And they just need somebody to slow their thoughts down.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to be there for. You know, I spoke here at Calvary Costa Mesa back in September.
Okay.
We had 4 buses in September of 2014.
Okay, so
Today
less
we
than
have
a year ago.
Yeah, we have bus number 15 in the parking lot right now.
That's awesome.
I met a gal named Sherry who stopped me in the courtyard after I spoke. And she grabbed my shoulder and she said, hey, I have one question for you. I said, yeah, what's up? And she said, where were you when I was going through this? And it just crushed me. My eyes welled up with tears. I looked her in the eye and said, tell me your story. Like, it's just, people all over the place. And I just felt like it was just the two of us in that courtyard. I said, tell me your story. She told me her story. And she said, I just needed somebody to help me slow my thoughts down. And I know for a fact that if one of those buses was in front of that abortion clinic 20 years ago, I would have completely, wholeheartedly jumped on board. I just needed somebody to tell me it was going to be okay.
Right.
She has said, I believe that I'd be a mother of a 20-year-old child today had I, had the Storks been there. So I believe in this ministry deeply. I was in the music business for years, for about 12 years, and the Lord brought me out of the music business just to fight for the sanctity of family. And this is one of the ways that my family and I get to do that, is to connect with people that say, you know what, I love pro-life, I believe in it wholeheartedly. I just don't know where to get plugged in.
Right.
And for us, man, Save the Storks is where I'd love to see you get plugged in, because it's tangible. The proof is there. Our pregnancy centers are phenomenal people. We're growing rapidly. We have 5 more buses in production.
Nice.
We know that 5 more centers just signed on. So by the end of the year, we should have 25 more buses, not 25 more, but 25 total.
Okay.
And man, this thing's growing. It's growing at a vast rate.
Tell us about your national presence.
Yeah, man. We have buses on the East Coast, West Coast. We have 6 buses just landed here in California. We have 2 in Texas. We have, let's see here, I think 2 in Boston. So we're all over the place. We're growing abundantly, and we're excited to see. If you go to calvarystorks.com.
I was just going to say, how do we get involved?
Check it out.
Where do we go?
I mean, Calvary Chapel has been such an amazing just advocate for what we do. Pastor Brian and Josh Taransky, all these guys, they really believe in this movement. They're excited about what we're doing, how we're spreading the message.
Right.
And so I thought, man, it'd be great if we just did Calvary Storks. So if you go to calvarystorks.com, you can dig into everything we have going on. You can see these buses. You can pray for us. You can be a part of the movement any way that you see fit. I'd love for you to be a part of it. I'd love for you to connect with me. My email address is jeff@savethestorks.com.
Well, that's easy.
So that's pretty easy. So jeff@savethestorks.com. Hit me up. Let me know what you think. I'd love to get you plugged in. Because this is a movement that people are really connecting with. We have buses now that are reporting that they're saving up to 400 babies a year per bus.
Wow.
We have abortion clinics that are now closing because we're changing the culture of these communities that these buses are in, because they're getting educated. They're recognizing that, man, there's better ways, there's more resources than I knew about where I don't need to go down the path of abortion.
Right.
And so now abortion clinics are closing down because we're intercepting so much of their clientele. We're seeing abortionists get saved. We're seeing security guards outside of abortion clinics getting saved because this is a very loving approach. This is a very, very just forward-thinking, Jesus-focused approach, and it's making sense, and it's connecting with people on a very deep level. And man, I want to do everything I possibly can to champion this movement to become a national recognized ministry.
That's great.
And yeah, man, we're just scratching the surface. So it's pretty exciting stuff.
So tell us the website once again.
So we got CalvaryStorks.com.
Great.
CalvaryStorks.com. Check it out.
Yeah, we encourage you to check it out.
Yeah.
K-Wave is an active partner.
Yes, sir.
We want you to look at us as an active partner. And,
Absolutely.
just love the ministry.
I can't thank you guys enough for everything
love
you're
the
doing.
coffee, too. How do they get some
Thank
coffee?
you. Yeah, there's a lot of churches out there that serve coffee. And there's a lot of churches that serve coffee of a large brand that we all know about who actually support Planned Parenthood at a very, very large scale level.
Yeah.
I'm not going to fight and argue that, but I do want to make another option. We decided to start Stork Coffee right here. We've been serving it to all the pastors. We're getting huge reviews. People love it. It's great coffee.
It's good coffee.
We're really excited about this. And this is just another way for a church to get involved with a pro-life ministry that's soft, that's gentle, that's loving, that's compassionate. It's a way to start a conversation. I believe right now there's a lot of statistics out there, but one that I read on a regular basis is that 1 out of every 3 women will have gotten an abortion between the age of 15 to 45. So that's a large, huge community of people where a lot of them have never even talked about what they've been through, and they don't know how to reconcile it. Yeah. And my heart is to make it a conversation that's approachable, that people are able to have. And by just holding this cup of coffee, we're sitting here saying, this cup of coffee is saving lives, because it's part of Save the Storks family. Right. It's part of a church to be able to say, you know what? No, we can't have a bus. No, we can't do that. But I can serve a cup of coffee through Save the Storks. So check that out through CalvaryStorks.com too. It's there.
Sounds great.
Yeah, man. A lot going on.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks you, Mark.
For your time.
I love you guys. Thank you for everything.
All right. And thanks for tuning in.